What's up, guys? Welcome to my first ranking of 2021. Today, I'm going to rank the Child's Play slash Chucky franchise from worst to best. Now, I know, I know I've probably said it a lot of times, but I'm going to say it again. This is my list. Please post yours down in the comments section below. And let's get started. Coming in at number 8, for me personally, is going to be Seed of Chucky. This is probably, for a lot of people, I'm sure, the absolute worst of this franchise. It's way too comedic. The humor that they do go for is awful. This movie is just a disaster. Number 7 is going to be Child's Play 3. Now, Seed of Chucky is pretty much the only film in this franchise that I will never watch again. It is so disastrous. Child's Play 3 is probably the most forgettable of this entire franchise. It's still enjoyable. There are a few redeeming qualities to this movie. I think the opening sequence is pretty good. The final act, I don't mind the older Andy. I like his love interest. There are a few kills here and there that are generally entertaining, but it's just an uninspired and paint by numbers Chucky movie. Coming in at number 6 is going to be Bride of Chucky. Now, whereas Seed went way too far with the comedy, Bride I think has a really good balance between horror and humor. The only issue that I have with this movie, and it's a big one, is the characters of Jesse and Jade. They are so dumb, so stupid, so unlikable, and so unrealistic that they just annoyed the hell out of me. Now, one is played by Katherine Weigel. I like her as an actress. I do not like her character in this movie. Let me give you an example. So in one sequence, Jesse and Jade, they basically pull up this kind of area where there's a bunch of kids smoking and drinking and stuff. Jade's uncle's deputy follows them there, and I guess her uncle had put some drugs in Jesse's van, so the deputy pulls it out. Eventually, after a much heated argument, they resolve it. Jesse and Jade both leave the van. Chucky decides to crawl over to the squad car and decides to blow it up with the deputy inside it, comes back before Jesse and Jade arrive, and when they both arrive, they start accusing each other of murder. And yet then later on they're okay to just get married. These kids, those two characters are the worst. Coming in at number 5 is going to be the Child's Play remake. Now, from here on out, these are all, basically from Child's Play 3 on up to number 1, I will rewatch. The remake, I think, is actually a pretty good remake. It has a lot of things differently than the original, while still kind of maintaining that essence of the original. It went in a lot of different directions. I do think that the detective character was a bit underutilized. I like him as a character, just he wasn't given a lot to do. And I am not the biggest fan of the friends of our much older Andy. I thought they were kind of annoying. But other than that, you have some really good kills. I do like Mark Hamill as the voice of Chucky. Still not as good as Brad Dourif, but good enough. So, number 4 is going to be, I believe, Cult of Chucky. This came out in, I think, 2017. It kind of continues the story of my next Chucky movie that I'll be talking about. The only issue that I have with this is when we first meet Jennifer Tilly, her performance at the beginning is not nearly as strong as it is later on in the film or in Bride. But still, a pretty decent Chucky movie. Number 3 is going to be Curse of Chucky. Now, after the disaster that was Seed, the writer and creator of this franchise, Don Mancini, brought us Chucky fans up from the depths and gave us a really good Curse of Chucky. He returned it back to the more horror-focused aspect of it, had some pretty good gore, some good kills, some pretty decent characters. Overall, a very good Chucky movie. Number 2, and I'm sure a lot of fans of this franchise would debate between these two. My number 2 is going to be the original Child's Play. This movie is damn near perfection. The only little nitpick that I have of this movie is that there's one little sequence where some of the special effects seem a little dated. Specifically, there's a real quick shot of when Andy is escaping this kind of hospital room, and Chucky turns around to see him, and you can tell that it's a little person in a costume. But overall, an awesome Chucky movie. But my number 1 is going to go to the sequel, Child's Play 2. This movie basically goes the Terminator 2 route, where it's bigger, better, more entertaining, and it is a hell of a good time. And it is my favorite of the Child's Play franchise. So that's going to do it for me today, guys. Join me next time when I will rank the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. But until then, stay safe, please wear a mask, and keep social distancing.